I told my sister-in-law no once cares that she's pregnant. My brother Jake's wife, Emma, found out she was pregnant 3 months ago, and ever since then, she's been acting like she's the first woman in history to have a baby. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for them, but Emma has turned her pregnancy into this golden ticket to get whatever she wants. It started small. She'd come to family dinners and demand everyone change the restaurant because she was too nauseous for Italian food. Then she'd order the most expensive thing on the menu and expect someone else to pay because the baby needs proper nutrition. Last month at my mom's birthday party, Emma threw a fit because we were having the celebration at a bowling alley. She said the noise was stressing the baby and made us move the whole party to some fancy brunch place that cost twice as much. The worst part was how my family just went along with everything. My mom would drop whatever she was doing to bring Emma crackers for her morning sickness. My dad rearranged his work schedule to drive her to appointments when Jake was busy. Everyone treated her like a fragile princess. But the final straw came last weekend. My best friend since high school, Lisa, was getting married, and I was the maid of honor. I'd been planning this bachelorette party for months. We booked a cabin in the mountains, planned hiking trips, and arranged for a spa day. 2 days before we were supposed to leave, Emma called me crying. She said she couldn't handle being alone while Jake was at his work conference, and she needed me to cancel my trip to babysit her. I reminded her that she was only 4 months pregnant, not dying, and that this was my best friend's bachelorette party. Emma started sobbing harder and said I was being selfish. She said pregnant women need emotional support and that Lisa would understand. Then she played her trump card. She called my mom, who immediately started guilt-tripping me about abandoning family in their time of need. She said Emma was scared and hormonal and that real sisters put family first. I tried explaining that Emma had other friends, her own mom, and that being pregnant didn't mean she needed a babysitter 24/7, but my mom kept going on about how pregnancy was such a vulnerable time and how Emma was counting on me. That's when I snapped. I called Emma back and told her straight up that nobody cared that she was pregnant anymore. I said she'd been using her pregnancy as an excuse to be selfish and demanding for months, and I was done playing along. Emma gasped and said she couldn't believe I was being so cruel to an expectant mother. I told her that being pregnant didn't give her the right to ruin other people's plans and that she needed to grow up before the baby actually arrived. She hung up on me and immediately called Jake, who called me yelling about how I made his pregnant wife cry. I told him his wife was manipulating the entire family and that he needed to stop enabling her ridiculous behavior. The next morning, I packed my bags and went to Lisa's bachelorette party anyway. We had an amazing weekend hiking, getting massages, and celebrating Lisa's last days as a single woman. I posted pictures of us laughing and having fun, and I didn't feel guilty for 1 second. When I got back, my phone was full of angry messages from my family. Emma had apparently spent the entire weekend calling everyone, crying about how mean I was to her and how stressed she was about the baby. But then something interesting happened. My cousin Maya called me and said she was proud of me for finally standing up to Emma. Turns out, other family members had been getting frustrated too, but were too scared to say anything. Maya told me that Emma had been demanding expensive baby gifts, making people rearrange their schedules around her doctor appointments, and throwing tantrums whenever she didn't get her way. 3 weeks later, Emma called to apologize. She said her doctor had told her that stress wasn't good for the baby, and she realized she'd been taking her anxiety out on everyone else. She admitted she'd been using her pregnancy as an excuse to be demanding. Now she actually asks nicely when she needs help instead of expecting everyone to drop everything for her. And you know what? People are much more willing to help when they don't feel manipulated. Turns out sometimes pregnant women need boundaries just like everyone else.